All right, cool. So just as a quick warm up, Pargo. So this is my quiz question for you. What's the last song that you played on Spotify?
I don't even have Spotify.
No Spotify?
I'm Apple Music.
All right. Well,
but
what was
the
the last?
thing?
What was the last thing on Apple Music?
It was Kyrie Irving, Ridiculous.
Really?
Yeah.
He got a
Wow,
rap song.
I didn't know this.
Nah. He's Kyrie can sing. Like people don't know that he can actually sing.
I heard that.
Oh, what you mean he got a song?
You
I
don't
never
know.
heard Ridiculous.
Listen, I actually posted a video on my Instagram singing it yesterday.
I
Grooving,
followed you.
yo. Yeah. Every single day. It's Kyrie. Yeah. You seen Uncle Drew?
Yes.
It's
Great
on.
movie
It's,
too,
it's
by the
play,
way.
it's, yes, it is.
Great movie.
He's playing it in the movie.
I went and saw it with my son. He
Yeah.
loves it. He loves Uncle Drew. Now.
Yeah.
Yep. Great movie.
All right. In case you haven't noticed, we are back. We are back in the house. We have none other than Jeremy Pargo sitting in with us today.
Great.
I'm trying to figure out who Jeremy Pargo is myself.
Great. That's great.
None other. I wish.
I want to get into it, but we also have, of course, Scoop Jardine,
Right.
the man.
Yeah.
He's been sitting in with us for a long time now.
Right.
Mr.
Long
Do It All.
time. Yeah.
Yeah. Call it again. Do it. Oh.
How are you today, Scoop?
I'm great. Thank you.
All right, man. And of course, we have the one and only Jordan Dumars, JD. How you feeling, man?
D.
Hey man, it's a beautiful day. It's a beautiful California
He
day.
He's so chill.
He just came in like a manager that's laid back
No.
like we the Migos and he the manager.
Yeah, that's Big Daddy D. There you go.
So Pargo, tell us a little bit about what you're up to. You know, I think here in the United States, you have a huge fan base. But what have you been up to recently? Tell the people what you've been up to.
Well, first off, I don't know what he talking about. Huge fan base.
base.
Don't nobody know me. I don't
No, man. I mean,
You do though.
Nah,
no,
but
you do. Seriously,
I mean-
I followed you for a long time now. So in case our audience doesn't know, you're playing over in Israel. How long have you been in Israel for?
I've played a bunch of places. My first 2 seasons out of college was in Israel. I left. I was in the league for 2. Russia. Then I went back to Israel to play again. After that, I went to China for 3 seasons.
Wow.
And at the end of last season, they called me, asked me to come over and play for maybe a month and a half, 2 months, and went back to the same team in Israel and re-signed this year for the whole year. So
We want to get into
I'm well traveled. I got a lot of steps in my passport.
Where you played in the NBA? That's what we want.
I played in
Lot
Memphis,
Okay.
Cleveland, and Philly for a little bit. Your area.
Right. The best city. Right?
The what?
The best city.
Best city for what? For cheesesteaks? That's about all I can give you.
That's it. You didn't like the Sixers?
Huh? I don't know what you talking about. I don't just, go ahead.
No, we trust the process, baby. Trust the process.
It's a hell of a process right
Shout
now.
out to the
You gotta
62.
trust it. You gotta. It's why wouldn't you trust that process right now?
I mean, it's a hell of a move with Jimmy Butler.
So I want to get right to it. Here on Chance Betting, we're really interested in business and how professional athletes are thinking about their careers and how they take that to a business level. Pargo, how are you thinking about your career? How do you think about your business interests? You have a big following around the world. You do. How are you thinking about things today in 2018?
It's a bunch of things out there that you can get into. You know, I'm lightweight, the flyest dude y'all ever seen in your life.
Okay, so you
You know what I'm saying? I'm into that a little bit, but you know what I'm saying? It's nothing crazy. So I'm gonna focus on this basketball thing, and then when Hollywood comes calling for me to do a couple movies here and there,
okay? So you wanna
I'm
tap-
with it.
So, you wanna tap
All
into
right.
it. So do you tap in? Do you use social media?
yeah, I have it, I use it, but I mean, I tell people all the time, if you ever seen my social media, if you strolled up twice,
Yeah.
you know exactly who I am.
Okay.
Because my social media is who I am. It's not fake. It's not something I don't want it to be. My social media is me.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Too many people in the world want to portray or be something that they're not. And a lot of Instagrams will show you that, show you things that people aren't or things that they don't have and all that. My Instagram is exactly who I am.
Love it. Love it.
I can only be me.
Yeah. So on that tip, do you feel like it's a big part of what you want to do moving forward, or do you feel like it's something that you're just going to let sort of?
You said business, and it. The craziest thing is it didn't click to me. I'm actually in the process of designing my own sneaker.
Really?
Oh, great.
Yeah, I'm in the process of designing my own basketball sneaker, and it's what about a month in, probably
Cool.
a little longer.
That's cool.
So,
Congratulations with that too, man.
appreciate it. So literally as I was walking in, I'm on the phone texting about some sneaker ideas and changes here and there, and I kid you not, the sneakers is gonna be dope. I'm not just making it up, and I my whole goal is I've talked to people that's made sneakers and all of this and that, and I know people that have made sneakers for $4. I don't want that sneaker. I want my sneaker to have some quality to it. So we're gonna be playing basketball, and the sneaker's gonna get beat up. My sneaker's gonna be able to get beat, and we're gonna play in it. It's gonna be a real sneaker, and I this is the first time anybody's outside of my family has heard about this.
Okay.
No joke.
Thank you.
You heard it here first.
No
Yeah,
joke.
yeah,
Nobody
you
has
hear
heard
that?
about it.
Yeah.
No one.
So,
Again, congratulations, man. That's
Appreciate
big.
it.
That's
no,
big.
I really think that we're in the beginning of a revolution with players and actually shoes to start out with, because that's where business has been for the longest time. But I'm working personally with a number of NBA players who are working on their own shoes. I really think Nike and Adidas, they've had something good for a very long time, and some other brands, but basically Nike and Adidas, they've had something really good for a while. But I feel like things are changing. JD, do you feel like that's, I know that we've worked on some projects already where we're starting to take that hammer and start to crack on that a bit.
For sure, absolutely. We was talking about it yesterday on the podcast. Like, man, we living in a time that you don't necessarily have to be Ben Simmons or whoever it might be, a top NBA star. You can, if you got a personality like Jeremy Pargo and a fan base in Spokane, Washington, and a fan base in Maccabi Tel Aviv, and a fan, if all you need is a few thousand people to have interest in you and have a nice product, and shit, you off to the races. So.
That's the biggest goal, a nice product.
Yeah.
No, a lot of people want to do it, but the product isn't a nice product. It's just sometimes thrown together, and basically some of the shit is ugly. So
True, you can't endorse anything.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying.
So our producer Alex behind the camera is from Spokane.
What?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, big.
I know you happy you got out.
Big, yeah. For sure. Yeah, big GU fan.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So what did you feel about the game yesterday?
I didn't watch the game yesterday.
I called the coaches. I was so mad when I called the coaches. Yeah, we can't be struggling with Illinois.
Yeah.
We got Arizona tonight.
I feel like you're gonna just because I grew up in Tucson a little bit. I spent 4 years in Tucson. I feel like you're gonna destroy Arizona tonight. Yeah.
Well, I will be watching at 7.
All right.
And
That
then
was
we're gonna have to run into that demon of Duke.
Oh man,
That's
that's the Monstars.
Right.
It really
the
is.
Monstars, yeah.
Really is.
Did you play for that coach? What's his name? Mark Few.
Yeah.
That was your coach.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
What you think about him?
Fuse he knows what he's doing. He knows what he wants, and they're getting a lot more talented guys into that program now, and they're in the national championship 2 years ago, and that's a big step for that program.
I want to get something about you. Do you think he used you the right way in college?
Oh man,
Great question. Right, school. Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't want to go into that part.
Look. This is why though, because
I mean,
honestly, I seen you in school. I watched you in college, and some guys be good in school, but then they get out of school and they get better, or they get better in the NBA. It seemed like your shit just. I'm like, damn, he can do that. Or then he can. I ain't see that at Gonzaga. You know what I mean? Like
I know. I've been told that before.
So
the craziest thing is I got a call from an NBA player. He's from Chicago. I won't say his name, but he called me, and this is during my senior year. He cussed me out so bad.
Right.
Never really met him before. Like I shot around with him and his son when he was in the league in his prime. Tim, that's in the league now. Right. Tim was like 3 or 4.
Yeah.
Maybe 5 or 6 somewhere in there.
Right.
We're at the gym in Chicago. We're shooting. I'm shooting with Tim. I'm probably a couple years older than Tim. I'm shooting with him. I pretty much just say who he is now. But he called me and wore me out.
What did he say?
It was, what are you doing? Like he let me know, like, I don't know who I'm looking at. You're not yourself. And like I appreciated the call so much because he was 100% right.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been a fan of Jeremy Pargo. now for some time.
I don't know about all that.
For sure. I'm a fan of basketball, though. Seriously.
That's
So,
for sure.
I'm a big fan of basketball. One of the
That's for sure.
probably biggest. So I respect game. And you had it, a lot of it. And a lot of these coaches in college don't really, you see a lot of these players, they be okay in college, then they get to the league or like, damn, he had that. Look at Jimmy Butler.
Yeah. Right.
Look at it.
Yeah.
I didn't think Jimmy was a max player. And I can honestly say this to his face. I played against him at Marquette. I did not see that. But he's a max player. And Marquette used him the right way. Don't get me wrong. He's everything he is at Marquette. He's in the NBA. But I did not see that at Marquette. So
I mean, that's the thing with schools, though. Schools will put you into their system, into where you fit for them.
Facts.
It's not a lot of guys. A lot of these one and done guys. That some schools are letting them use their full potential.
True.
And Calipari, he uses it, and it's better than anyone else. And he will tell you that he has players that sacrifice, and he tells them to sacrifice. Like Karl Anthony Towns. No one knew Karl Anthony Towns can do all of this, what he's doing his rookie year.
I agree.
Right.
But Calipari spoke to that and said that, we didn't need him to shoot threes.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a sign of a great coach, because he knew that he was able to get him to adjust what he wanted to do and what he was for the betterment of that team.
Yeah.
Granted, it was only for a year, which rightfully so. He was the number one pick. He deserved everything he got, because that's a talented joker there.
I did not see it at Kentucky.
I didn't see all of this either, and Calipari spoke to it. So, you know what I'm saying? He saw it.
Yeah.
And he knows better than we do in that situation. He coached him,
Yeah.
Do you feel like this trend is going to continue, where we're just going to see more one and done sort of style, letting players find their individuality? What I'm hearing is this individuality, right? Or do you feel like we'll go the other way, where it'll be just like back to systems?
They're trying to change the rule, obviously, to where guys will be able to come straight out of high school. They put the rule in where I think it's like the top 20 prospects or something can test the waters and go back to college if they want it.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, in college basketball, it is what it is, and it's great for what it is. You know what I'm saying? And no one playing college basketball can tell you, I just want to play college basketball. Other than guys that, maybe a walk on here and there or something like that. Anyone with that really does it, their goal is to get to the NBA.
Yeah, for sure.
Everyone goal is to get to the NBA. And some of us aren't fortunate enough to get there. I was lucky enough that I was able to play 2 years. And it's not meant for everyone, but everyone's goal is to get to the league.
Do you feel like it prepares you, or do you feel like it's just sort of like
Does college
a stop? Yeah.
For some guys, the Ben Simmonses of the world, those level of players, it's a stop for them. For me, it's it's a place to play and get better. For those guys that have it, it's a stop.
Right.
Like,
yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like Ben Simmons said it himself. He said, "I'm not going to class after the first semester. Why am I going to class?" He said himself, it's a stop. It's the truth, though.
It's definitely that.
It's the truth.
They go to school for a semester. That's it.
And he flat out laid it out for everyone. This isn't coming from me. He said it himself. It's the truth. What is he going for?
Right.
He's one of those players that got it. He went and got it. So, you know what I'm saying?
No, he's that
it's the
good.
truth. He's that good. When you're that good, it's a stop.
Right.
So I have a question on that. Do you think they should let them go right to the NBA? Those that good guys that we talking about, because guys like, look, hearing yourself, myself, who's in school, extra years.
It comes down to what a lot of people, some people are saying on TV is, at 18 you can go to war. At 18 you can go get a job. At 18 you can do this and you can do that. But if you're a really talented basketball player, at 18 you can't go to making money. You have to
Right.
go.
That's what I'm.
You know what I'm saying? So if you have it,
what's
the point of making LeBron go to college for you?
This my opinion on it, because there's some guys that go to school, they want the degrees, and you know what I mean? I feel like those guys they appreciate college, but the guys that we talking about, they know this is just a stop. They're not going to class. They're not doing these things. So that's why I feel like
even some of those guys know what it is to get a degree. Look at Vince Carter went to North Carolina for 3 years.
But at that time though, it was
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
for sure.
and at that time they was it was publicized. Go back and get your degree. No matter what you do, make sure you finish.
And,
a lot of guys
he did it too. Game 7.
and that was good for the NBA.
Game 7.
That was
in
good for the
Philly.
NBA. That
Yeah.
was good for the NBA. But when you think
because,
about it,
because it means something.
Mhm.
That degree, no bullshit. It really does mean something. Because one, you can't be a college basketball coach without a degree.
Right.
You go do one and done. Chances are you're not finna go back to school for 3 more years. And if you do, it's gonna take you a long time to do it because you're so busy with being a pro, living your life. It's gonna take you a while to do it. So I have my degree, and
Congrats,
I
man.
appreciate that I have my degree. And I told myself, no joke. I told myself if I don't graduate in 4 years, I'm probably never gonna get my degree because I don't like school. I didn't see myself. I don't see myself going back. Everybody want to go back. Like I'm gonna go get my master's. No, no.
Right.
I'm not going back. I finished. I don't want no more of a classroom.
I was there for 5.
Scoop.
I walked away with 2 though.
Scoop on the 5-year plan.
I walked away with 2. I walked away with that master's.
Hey.
But I agree. Somebody actually gave one of my mentors was like, I asked him what should I do. I was thinking about, this when I first was thinking about getting out of stop playing basketball. He was like, go to law school. Look at me. I'm like, all right, I took the LSATs and all that shit. I'm in the LSAT like practice classes. Looking at this shit like but I already got 2 degrees. I'm like, the fuck, I gotta go to law school to figure this shit out. I'm going back to playing basketball. No, it was one of them situations like, damn, I gotta go get a 3rd one. Oh my god.
And that's another 3 years. Nah.
But they definitely matters though. And the kids that really locked into it's more than just playing basketball. Because if you look at the one and dones, they also need these kids who played with them. I think that's who they should be hiring. To be truthful with you, because they ain't going back to school.
Yeah.
But
So Pargo, which players do you feel like? Because you've been at the NBA, you've been around the world. Like, which players do you feel like are doing it right? Like, name like 2 or 3 guys
Great
who you feel like are like, not necessarily like saying like Braun. You know what I mean? Like,
Ain't no way you can say he doing it wrong.
well yeah, but you know what I mean? Like 2 or 3 guys who you feel like you look up to them and you're like, you know what? These guys are handling business. They understand who they are, how they're living life, how's business, entrepreneuring, the whole deal. Like their game is just their overall whole life game is tight.
One person is Kyrie Irving. Kyrie's smart. That's a smart joker. Like when we played, and I played with him in Cleveland, like that dude is smart. Kyrie, for one, Kyrie gonna let you know. We're walking to a Gonzaga game. We were playing in Orlando, and Gonzaga was in a Thanksgiving tournament down there. So we're all going to the game. Me, Dion, Kyrie. I can't remember who else it was, but Kyrie, he gonna let you know. Some of us it take 10, 11 games. JP, what it take you? 150? I say, yeah, it took me 120 games to get here. He gonna let you know. 10 games. It took him 10 games in college to get to the league.
damn,
Number one pick.
10 games. And obviously he said it in a joking manner, but he's like, I kid y'all not, that's a smart dude.
Yeah,
That's
I agree.
one and done
agree.
that I know for a fact gonna get his degree. That's a smart dude.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah.
I agree with that one. He's woke.
What's
Yeah.
that mean though?
He's woke.
When you say smart, like what does that even mean? Like
Even if it's just book smart.
yeah.
He's smart. He knows who he is.
Yeah.
He knows what he wants, and he knows what he's doing.
I got you.
Anytime you got all 3 of those,
Yeah.
you got some kind of sense.
Yeah, he
So
does.
when Bron joined them, did Bron have any like help with Kyrie, or Kyrie was already?
Oh, he definitely
was?
he definitely opened his mind up to some other things for sure. Anytime you get a vet or a person that's done the things that Bron has done,
Yeah,
and if you don't learn from him, then you're not smart.
right.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm praising Kyrie for being smart right now, so obviously he has to pick up some things.
Yeah.
You can hear some of the things he said in the interview that it comes from an older place and comes from learning.
Right. No, he's a very woke
You know what
guy,
I'm saying?
seriously.
So Bron definitely gave him a lot of tools to be a leader for one, because Kyrie was young when he got to the league. He was 19.
Yeah.
Kyrie was what, 20, maybe 22 when Bron came back, 23.
Yeah, 22.
So to learn from somebody that's done it for so long and has been at the top of the top, second at the top.
Who's first?
Huh?
Who's first?
I'm from Chicago.
Oh.
So you know what I'm saying.
Well,
You know what I'm saying? So
who play in Chicago?
I don't know. If you don't know, something wrong with you. You ain't woke. What do you?
No, I know.
But nah, like that dude is really smart. And,
Yeah, a topic I've been thinking about since you walked in here. I don't think a lot of people really know this. I think all three of us know. Ben, I think you know too. But I feel like pursuing an overseas basketball career is being an entrepreneur in itself, really. Because people don't even know. Like, to the average fan, like, you playing in Moscow, isn't it below 10? Like, first of all,
Chicago's colder than Moscow, though. I give you that one.
Yeah, that's a fact.
Yeah,
That's a fact.
man. That Chicago ain't no joke, boy.
You on that water,
Windy City.
that's different.
Yeah.
But I'm saying, like, the salaries alone, obviously, I think everybody knows it's tax free. You make unbelievable money.
People
but,
don't understand that part, though.
Yeah,
'cause,
right.
Touch on
It's
that, please.
Like, no joke. Everyone says, hey, you getting that tax-free money. No, I'm not getting tax-free money. It's
Right.
taxed.
Right.
Just your team pays
Yeah,
a
yeah.
percentage of your taxes in your country, and you got to pay the rest of that percentage when you
Right.
get back.
Right.
That's true.
So if you got people that are, book smart and savvy and know how to work the system in terms of writing off and all of that things, then you can be okay in terms of paying taxes.
All right.
But if
But
you
not
don't,
too many have that though.
exactly.
All right.
And if you don't, you still gonna pay about 100
All right.
in taxes depending on what you're making. You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
So
Um,
it varies.
But yeah, so like, it's financial incentives to like, I feel like you can fund yourself as a small VC over there
Yeah.
making that money. But like, go into like how guys get citizenship, they start owning property over there. Like, you can expand the whole empire over there, and no one would even know. You know,
1,000%.
yeah. So
1,000%.
I know you know some guys like that. Like, I'm trying to think when he asked you examples, we could point to some NBA guys, but it's some low key guys overseas for 10 years, and you
Derek
wouldn't
Sharp.
even know.
Derek Sharp played for Maccabi Tel Aviv for 15 years.
Really.
I'll give you another guy who's in the NBA right now, but PJ Tucker.
Yeah.
He was
Played
a
in
guy
the
who
pros.
started over there,
Yeah.
and look what he's doing in the NBA today. He's one of the ones that he did good over there.
Yeah.
All right.
Like yourself,
Played in Israel, played
Yeah.
against him in Israel, yeah.
yeah. He had to go make his way over there and came back. Oh, Patrick Beverly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Some guys, but you're right. You're right. You can
Will
def-
Bynum. It's
That's
some guys
the man
that
right there.
start over there, you know what I'm saying, and make it back. And for me, you know what I'm saying, it was
Oh yeah.
I tell young guys, like, if you're 27, 28, you know what I'm saying, your NBA dream's not dead, but you can't end this game with nothing to show for it.
Right.
Exactly.
So
That's the biggest part.
being in the D League chasing the NBA at 30 is
Yeah,
not
it's not a good
really
look.
smart.
Now you're just playing a dream. You're
Yeah.
just dreaming.
You know what I'm saying?
And that's I try to tell guys that.
You know
all
what I'm
the
saying?
time.
The dream isn't dead, but you have to be smart and not lie to yourself. So
Facts. Facts.
One of the things when Scoop was here the other day, Scoop talked about the network he had at Syracuse
Right.
and how it helped him, especially after school and things changed with basketball. It helped him blow up and it gave him opportunities. Are you finding the same thing overseas? Are you meeting like interesting people, business people, opportunities overseas? Is that part of what's going on for
I'm
you?
different. I'm really trying to work on the networking part. I'm awful at it. I'm
Yeah.
terrible at it because I can only be me. I don't know how to. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how to. I
I
can
think
only be.
you
That's
me.
ironic,
underestimate-
though.
I think that's underestimating yourself, honestly.
I'm not good at it. though.
Always do that though. In basketball, I seen what you're doing off the court. Off the record, you just said, "Oh, I don't think I'm good enough." Your team needs you right now.
No, I don't. But I don't see it. I don't see it.
But that's
I don't know.
ironic because you light up a room as soon
I
as
know,
you walk
man.
in.
I just find
Because
this
I'm
hard to
goofy.
believe.
Right.
Bro, that's all.
That's all it takes.
Something stupid. I play all the time.
Basically, no one believes you, Pargo.
It's the truth.
No, but you
I
got
mean,
it, bro.
my whole thing is me is my personality, and I can be who I am no matter what. And my thing is, if you don't like me, I can't do anything about it. So I'm not gonna change who I am to make someone else like me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people, the way I walked in here, some people wouldn't like the way I walked in here. I come in here with a loud joke. No one in here met me other than these two.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it could rub you the wrong way. It could rub people the wrong way. And
Alex
You know,
is from
it's-
Spokane. He just
Yeah, he
wanted to
loved
like
it.
bow down. He was like,
He hype over there. I was gonna tell you that, but
yeah.
I mean, it's just, people don't always take to what other people are or how other people are. But I am definitely a bubbly personality, and I'm a laugh and I'm enjoying myself.
It's good.
Life is about being happiness, and life is about happiness, and that's what circles around my sneaker. Is about being happy and being who you are.
Love it. Love
That
it.
no joke.
Love it.
When are we getting this sneaker again?
Yeah, I better get a little care package. Or a size 12.
I don't know what he talking about.
Well,
I mean, it'll take time. I'll have the what do you call I'll have the design down in about another 2 months, maybe less.
are you working on it
I'll
yourself?
settle on a design. I got designs in my phone right now.
Yeah. So you taking initiative to.
Like
This is you.
I'm in constant communication with
I love it.
with the design team and all of this and everything.
We
Like,
might need like a tiny little teaser.
I love it.
to
Not on
send,
duty.
send to our audience.
Not
Just
on
a
duty.
tiny little colorway or something.
not on duty.
Yeah, not on duty. I like that.
Yeah, I'm glad we getting back into this sneaker.
Listen, we
Man.
going somewhere with it now.
Oh, you got a little Yeezy going
We
on.
we going somewhere with it now. Don't think it's just a joke now. We're going somewhere with it, okay?
I like them. Honestly, I'm not just saying that I really like them.
Let me see. I got some other stuff in here. It's the beginning stages. You know what I'm saying? We ain't deep into it.
Scoop, tell the audience what you're looking at right now.
We beginning.
I got you. I'm a brand. Listen, I have them on right now. Look at me. Look what I got on right now. You already know I'm a hustler, bro. You just said it yourself.
That's for sure.
No, but I'm happy though you're doing it.
I appreciate it.
Did LeVar inspire you?
Good question.
Did he inspire me?
Is that? I mean, I'm sure you.
He
all-
opened the door for people to be who they are, for one.
Yeah.
When I first thought about doing it, obviously yes, LeVar came to mind. Stephon Marbury came to mind as well.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
And I've had many conversations with Steph about it. He was one of the first people I talked to about it.
Okay.
Because as y'all obviously see that I don't take myself as serious as some people would like for me to, or you guys would like for me to, because my whole goal is to launch in Israel.
Okay.
I haven't thought about America at all.
Yeah.
I love it.
That's
My
I
whole
love
goal
it. That's a
is
chess
there.
move.
You know,
That's a chess
my whole goal
move.
is there.
yeah.
So it's gonna take time, obviously, and I think it's gonna. Obviously, you just saw some beginning.
I like it. No.
That's literally probably 3 weeks of work.
No,
That's literally probably 3 weeks of work.
love it.
So
So you are doing some business stuff, man. Like,
that's
I
why,
know, it
that's
just
why
takes
I
a
went back
little
to
bit.
it. That's why I
You
went back to it.
You
I
on
circled
it.
back around to it.
you on it.
But the first time I thought about it, I asked my little cousin, which probably the wrong person to ask, because if I made a stick of bubble gum, he would think people gonna buy it. So I probably can't ask him that. You know what I'm saying? So, but I asked a couple people, and they feel that it can inspire or sell, or people would enjoy it in different aspects. And obviously, I got some friends that play here, and I would give them a pair, but if they ain't rocking with me, then don't touch my sneaker.
You gonna have
Leave
to
my
get
sneaker
support.
alone.
It's a brotherhood.
Have you thought about the first version? What you want to call it?
Yeah.
I want to call it something other than JP2. I want to call it something other than that, but that's just what it's under right now.
JP2.
Because it's me.
Yeah.
Independent sneaker. You want to make it like your
No,
own
this
brand.
is all me.
Gotcha.
This is
Love
all me.
it. Love it.
See, this is the future.
Yeah.
Like I promise you, this is the future.
Yeah.
Within 10 years, it's not going to be just shoes. It's going to be everything.
Yeah.
And guys like you are going to become really, really good at this.
Yeah, this
Yeah.
is
And the guys just going to that overseas market in general. Like if you can, man, so much you come back with that money and do.
Anywhere you have an audience, right? It doesn't matter where the audience is, as long as you have an audience, right?
Right.
The internet just equalizes
Free
everything,
TV.
right?
Free TV.
So as long as you have an audience, then you have power.
Yeah.
You know.
Free
100%.
TV.
So Pargo man, so what's like a dream job down the line for you? Would you like to be in basketball? Would you like to be out of basketball? How are you thinking about that?
dream job.
Like a GM? Like what do you think?
I love that we just actually had that conversation yesterday, and I would like to be a GM. I like to teach, so coaching would be in there as well.
I honestly, when you said GM yesterday, we talked about it off camera before you got here, and that right there yesterday when I asked you, and you said GM. I take my hat off to that. And it wasn't coaching first.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Like I see where I know what type of thinker you are. What
for
you see
sure.
with your
Because when if you have a mind for the game, you can put pieces together that people would think like, man, he's terrible. But what he means to that team is much more than what other people can see and understand. And it takes a good GM to understand that with players. And it comes from a lot of people that's played the game before.
Yeah.
Like Elton Brand got the GM job in Philly out of nowhere.
Right.
Out of nowhere.
Right.
This Jimmy Butler trade was a great trade for him.
It's perfect. It's
It's
set
a
him who he's
great
gonna
trade
be
for him.
in a-
No
in the-
joke.
Yeah.
Probably locked his job up for another 5 years.
Right.
It's a great trade for him. So, he sees his team, he sees what he wants within his team, and he sees what his team needs. And that's exactly what that team needed. They're missing one other piece, which is probably another shooter. But
Yeah.
once JJ Redick start going and you need somebody to come off the bench, oh my God, they
Agree.
cooking with some grease over there.
I want to touch on that. I think a GM role, to get back on that topic, a lot of the coaches are employees. GMs have all the power, so they do control. They basically play the players.
Mhm.
I think there's only probably 2 or 3 coaches in the NBA who have that power to be a GM.
And most of those coaches are president of the
Of the
team.
team, yeah. Other than that, if you a GM, you got the power.
Yeah.
If you a coach, you just an employee. So if I'm the number 1 pick and I make more than you can't tell me nothing. The GM got to tell me. So I think a lot of the players, it's you got to start somewhere when you're looking at a GM role. You just can't start. It's no real route to a GM route. But I just think selling as a coach sometimes is not it.
Pargo, which franchise would you take over as GM right now? Come on.
Bulls. Gotta go
I
home.
like what the Bulls did. When the Bulls made the Jimmy Butler trade, I thought they won the trade flat out.
With Levine.
Flat out.
With the whole they went.
Yeah.
Because I love Larry Markin.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
coming out of
Markin's
Arizona.
so good.
I
he
love
was a
Larry
part
Markin
of
coming
that.
out of Arizona.
Yeah.
I knew for a fact Zach LaVine will play in that game on Sunday, which is that game on Sunday is All-Star game.
Yeah.
Zach LaVine will be All-Star.
Yeah. I can see that down the line.
I think
especially
Larry
in the
Markin has a really good chance of being All-Star.
East. Yeah.
You get those two for Jimmy, and Minnesota ends up with Rob Covington and Dario Saric and Jared Bayless and a second-round pick.
Yeah. If you compare
for Zach LaVine, Chris Dunn, and
And
Larry
they're younger.
Markin.
Yeah. That's a good. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I think the Bulls did a good job with that trade. I think the Bulls did a good job signing Jabari Parker.
Yeah.
He's from Chicago too, by the way.
Homegrown kid.
Played for the city with his heart.
Yeah, for sure. So, I mean, they're young. I don't know if I would take over the Bulls right now.
I just said it.
I mean,
'cause
it's
you're from there.
easy. It's easy to take over the Celtics though, because you have so many assets and
Right.
so many pieces. That would be the easiest job to go take over right now, because Danny Ainge just set them up beautifully.
He's the best, by the way.
Beautifully,
He's number 1 on my list.
unreal what he done. It's crazy what he did over there.
Yeah.
And
Salute.
people looked at him in disgust
Look what he did
when
to
he
the
let
Sixers.
go KG
Yeah.
and Paul and all them.
That's a heist.
But it's nothing but it.
All right.
He robbed Brooklyn.
All right.
What? That was the biggest robbery of the NBA. One of them.
Hey, but at the time, people was like, man, what is he doing? He knew what he was doing.
Mm-hmm.
Same what he did with Sixers.
Yeah.
The Fultz with the number 1 pick.
Pargo, what's going on with the Wizards, man?
I don't know at all.
That shit is
I have
crazy,
no.
man.
I'm reading what everybody else is reading.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
That's crazy.
They
man.
tanking.
That if they make the trades that they say, which is
Yeah, they tanking.
everybody can go, then yeah, they definitely doing that.
Yeah. It's a good year to tank, though. I want Zion right now.
And
That's true.
the craziest thing about it is Danny Ainge got a chance at getting them.
I know, right?
That's
Who's that pick? Memphis?
I think it's Memphis pick. I'm not 100%, but I think it's Memphis pick, and it's a top 5 almost for sure.
He's a beast, man. He's a beast.
Yeah.
That's a great GM right there.
And he got a pick from Philly in the trade when he moved down from 3.
get
I mean,
Tatum.
from whatever it was.
To get
To,
Tatum.
yeah,
To get Tatum,
Who was
Yeah.
the
the
best
number
player
one.
in the draft.
Exactly.
You showing off at that point. Like,
Just slapping people in the face.
all right, we got to pivot one second because I've been meaning to ask you this. I've been wanting to ask you this forever. I feel like I kind of known you throughout the year. Will Bynum is like my brother, so he always talked to me about you and
Always
stuff.
got y'all confused too.
Will,
right?
and for our listeners, Will Bynum has already been on Chance Bennett. Yeah, we're gonna have him back.
Yeah.
It's gonna be
That's
great.
my boy right
Yeah,
there.
that's
Oh.
family. But So like I said, I feel like I always know you, and just like Scoop said, being a basketball fan, anybody who's a real hoop fan know that you can always hoop.
Sure.
Matter of fact, when I was do you remember when y'all came and played a tournament game at the Palace in Detroit, at Gonzaga?
Who we play?
I couldn't tell you. All I remember is I was sitting like on the bench, and I just seen this little. How tall are you?
6'2".
No.
No, 5
No.
nothing.
5'11".
No, real shit, 6'2". Real shit, 6'2". No sneakers. 6'2".
Well, guess what?
No sneakers.
Maybe at the time, you hadn't grown, because I could have swore at the time you were about 5'11".
Yeah, you got to remember though. I'm out there with 7-footers and all this. I look like a midget.
Hey,
Scoop 6'3". He look like a midget out there too.
6'1".
Right.
Scoop
I'm
is
taller
not
than- I'm
tall.
taller
You're
than
not
Scoop.
taller than me.
I'm taller than
You're not
Scoop.
taller
Yes,
than
I am.
Well, my
What are you talking
All
about?
right, we're gonna bring a ruler in here pretty soon.
Right.
He's
I'm telling you, we're bringing
I
a
haven't
ruler.
been 5'11" since I was goddamn.
No, but you can jump though.
yeah.
No. You're not gonna take away.
Listen, that's where
No.
that's where I'm trying to get to, Scoop. All I remember is, whatever height you were short when I was looking at you on the court, and I just seen you come through and do a windmill at the end of the game. I said,
See,
"Who
that's
the
the
fuck
shit.
is this
That's
guy
the
right
shit
here,
right
man?"
there that I wish I had.
No, that was in Indiana, I think.
No, y'all at the Palace of Auburn Hills. I'll never forget that. I might have been. I think you like 4 years older than me. I had to be in high school at that point.
They that was the keys. He got the keys. over
Yeah,
there.
he used to go in there when he wanted.
Yeah.
I wouldn't forget that. And
Yeah.
then obviously I seen that and followed you the rest of your career. Knew you through Will.
I
I
appreciate
always
that.
been wanting to know this. How do you go from Chicago, Illinois to Spokane, Washington? How does that happen?
I tell you,
Give me the money.
I wish.
Give me money.
I wish. I don't know what going on in the Upper East over there, in Syracuse over there.
No.
Listen,
Bayham coming and just give you
the money.
No.
Yep, he was about to say it. He was about to say it.
the hell no. I guarantee you he
Bayham
ain't giving
coming
you
to
no
give
money.
you the what?
He
Yeah,
gonna get-
it's
He
okay.
gonna give you the boogie. He gonna dig in his nose.
And that boogie means a bag. Okay, I get it. But no joke, I started my senior year with a 1.5 GPA.
Okay.
Started my senior year with a 1.5 GPA.
High school.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Cumulative over the first
So
3
they got
years.
you the grades.
You were serious about not liking class.
Yeah.
Yeah, you were.
High school's like a party.
Yeah.
It still is a party.
Yeah, I feel it. Where you go?
Robeson on the south side. They just tore my school down, actually.
Okay.
Jeez, South Side.
Yeah.
Shout out to the South Side.
The
Chicago.
heart of it.
The heart of it.
The
huh?
real hood to hood.
Hood
not
to
the
hood.
rap.
I know, bro.
So Mark Few called you up, or what happened?
So it goes, Gonzaga had never had a player of my caliber or a player from Chicago straight out of high school. So I can't remember how they ended up recruiting me, but they ended up recruiting me and everything. I had just got MVP at the All-Star game at ABCD camp.
That's big.
It was me, Brandon Rush, Byron Eden,
Mm-hmm.
Gerald Green. We split it.
Okay.
So, I mean, at that point they didn't think they had a chance. Somehow they end up coming in trying. A lot of schools fell off because no one thought I would qualify. I didn't know.
So if your grades are straight, what does your top 3 look like at that
That
time?
was
I don't even know. I don't know because
You were like, I know you were a top player. You were McDonald's, all that,
No.
like that level, like right below
Nah,
McDonald's.
I was,
But get MVP of the
ABCD.
after that
I'm about to say,
MVP,
everybody.
after that MVP, I was the number 1 point guard in the Midwest.
Yeah.
I was
Okay.
3rd point guard overall, number 21 in the country.
Oh, yeah, you could have went anywhere.
Yeah.
And I guess they saw that and they saw them grades. Say, man, we ain't wasting our time.
Mm-hmm.
Gonzaga didn't do that.
Respect that.
Gonzaga didn't do it.
Respect to Gonzaga.
Yeah.
They-
Sticking with you too.
Yes.
Tommy Lloyd was who recruited me. He's still at Gonzaga right now. And every other week when they had an opportunity to come to check on my grades, to sit with me and point me in the right direction and show me, what I need to do.
Mhm.
Like I went to summer school after I graduated.
Me too.
Yeah.
I went to school from 8 a.m. to 7
To
p.m.
get to
Just to
diploma.
qualify.
Me too.
to qualify. I was gonna graduate just to qualify. So I went. So because they were so instrumental in helping me get in the right things, making sure I'm in the right classes and all of that, even with night school and all of that,
Yeah.
I didn't want to, fuck y'all and go over here.
So crazy.
You know what I'm
hearing the
saying?
story.
Like they really, really helped me. I went from a 1.5 to a 2.3.
Oh yeah.
in one school year. That ain't normal.
Yeah, not at all.
But you put the work in, though.
I had to.
Great.
I had to.
We're doing a great recruiting pitch for Gonzaga right now.
To go back on your question, that's actually why I went to Syracuse.
Yeah.
Yeah, seriously, it was. I knew personally that we wasn't going to qualify. When I say me, it was myself, Deion Waiters, and Rick Jackson. It was three of us. And growing up in the cities, you grew up in Chicago, they just ain't preparing us, bro.
No, not even close. Test get in front of you, start sweating.
Yeah, my thing, and that's why we all committed to school early. I committed when I was a junior.
Yeah.
Deion was in eighth grade, and Rick was a junior. But we did it because what you just said. Syracuse was the school that came in. They met with our guidance counselors. They really got us up out of Philadelphia. It wasn't about no money. It was really getting us to college. And at that time, going from Chicago, just going to a school for free was great for us. So it was getting three of us.
See, I think that's deep. And
yeah.
How do we do more of that?
Yeah.
How do
Well,
we
I
do
think it's
more
the
of that?
recruiting of the coaches though too though, because it wasn't Boeheim, it was the assistant coach Mike Hopkins, who's the head coach down at Washington. Shout out to Hop, and he came in. He sat on the couch with my grandmother and the team, and he made sure we got to school, like far as making sure the classes that we needed, because none of this we just played basketball.
Yeah.
You know, so and a lot of these schools they're not prepared for big time basketball players. Just think of Syracuse gonna come to your school and recruit this kid, and you know, like so.
Yeah, I mean, my situation, like, I'd had my principal talk to my high school coach and ask him why. They asked him, "Why are you helping them? What's the point?
Facts.
It's not gonna be anything.
Facts.
Damn.
You're wasting your time."
That's crazy.
On the flip side, I've had my high school coach, rest in peace. He just passed away maybe a month ago. I had a school call and ask Arkansas. I didn't know this at the time when I was in school. I found this out when I was at Gonzaga. I went to an Arkansas game because Pat Bear was there. I went to the game, watched the game. And the coach told me, man, we were coming to Chicago to recruit you, man, but we called and your high school coach said the chances of you qualifying was slim to none. And Slim went out the window. So
Slim went out the window.
that at Arkansas. You know, Arkansas wasn't coming to do that. Illinois came. Oh man, he ain't qualifying and left. Wasn't in front of me, but that's what I was told. You know what I'm saying? And they took another guard out of Baltimore. Woo!
Why you laughing at that man like
Come
that,
on,
bro?
Man.
Who was
Come
it?
on,
You going
man.
just sit.
Come on, man.
We need the name.
I'm not with all that. But
B-More got some good players. That's what I need to know.
no, they got some good players too, but nah,
No?
whatever.
Okay.
Okay. But you know what I'm saying? It was all laid out for me what I needed to do. Get to this point, to this point, to this point, to this point. And I think no joke, I got my test scores back literally 2 weeks before it was time to go to Gonzaga, before school started. Got my test scores back.
Right.
And I think a week or two before that, Kansas called to see, you know, what was going on with my situation. At that time, they had Mario. They had, you know,
Robinson,
for
Your
one,
boy from Chicago, what's his name?
Sharon.
Yeah, Sharon.
Yeah, Sharon's a year behind, year or two behind me.
Two.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I had no thoughts of going there after
Y'all games are similar
Gonzaga
too.
did all of that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
Y'all games are similar. You and Sharon. Like
a little bit. He's
I'm talking about coming out of high school, like before he got like real big.
Sharon has always been Sharon. All this crazy. Oh my God.
He came and played a high school tournament in Detroit when I was in middle school.
Yeah.
Boy, he dropped
He was
40.
serious, man.
Listen,
Crazy.
you know how before the season started, your coach calls the other school, like, hey, we want to play. We want to come over there. We play you guys.
Yeah,
Not
yeah.
an official game. You
Yeah,
just
yeah,
go
yeah.
play, pretty much practice against each other.
Yeah.
So I say, I'm about to press Sharon. Get up. Boom, boom, boom. That's how I turned around. He was at the basket, laying it up.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, he different.
No, I'm gonna
was
tell you,
different.
bro.
Hey.
Chicago was different about him.
Listen, my coach say, hey, because my best friend's name is Justin Brown, but his nickname is Nut.
Right.
Nut, you guard him, Nut. He don't want to guard him. I looked at coach. When I tell you I went crazy after that, I'm talking
yeah,
about,
well,
you're not finna do that to me.
Right.
That's a great coach. That was a great coaching tactic. Who was that coach?
Charles Redmond, he passed away.
Out of-
He battled, I think it was no Bush, I think it was lung cancer. He battled it for 5 years. The doctor gave him, 5 years ago, the doctor gave him, I think, a year to live.
Wow.
Maybe
Yeah,
5.
It's a bliss.
Blessing.
And,
It's about fighters.
and at the end, they told him, like, we have experimental drugs we can try. You got to come here. You say, nah, I'm
good, man.
Like that's a hell of a fighter right there.
Mm-hmm.
No joke.
So Pargo, where do you go from here? Give us like rest of 2018-19 sort of update. Like what's
I go to Carl's Jr. down the street.
Right.
But nah, I'm
Over
gonna
there,
do
man.
what I can and you know what I'm saying, just try to remain who I am.
where can the chance bending audience find you online? Is it Insta? Is it what is it?
I'm on Instagram. I'm just Pargo. That's
Yeah.
literally who I am.
That's
That's the
I like
name.
that.
I'm just Pargo.
I am just Pargo.
I like that, man. I like who you are.
I can only be who I am. No joke. Too many people want to be. Everyone else is taken. I can't be Scoop. You know what I'm saying? I can't do it. I have to be who I am, and not enough people understand. You can only be who you are. So
I feel a vibe with that statement, man. You gotta, like you said,
That
you gotta
statement
center
is-
that around the shoe.
it is.
Yeah.
It is.
That's
really
the
is.
whole shoe vibe. There.
It really is.
Make sure I get mine too.
I don't know.
I'm not playing. I'm coming to Israel.
I can't compete with Gucci slips. And
I
all
know,
that.
I know they
Oh.
look nice.
Whoa. Hey, listen. Hey, Ben, we going to Israel.
Oh, chance bending trip to Israel.
Oh, man, that's... Yeah.
Yeah,
We gotta do
we'll
this
film the whole
podcast.
thing. We'll film the whole thing.
Whole thing, buddy. We come to Israel. We want to see... This one you back healthy.
Listen, we got personalities in Israel too, so there's a lot of people y'all can get in here on this mic and they would talk.
Mm-hmm.
Nah, I like who you are.
Me too, a little bit sometimes. Sometimes I'm ugly, so it's a struggle.
But thank you, brother.
Yeah,
For
thank
sure.
you,
Yes,
Pargo,
sir.
for
Appreciate you,
stopping
man.
by. You're welcome here anytime.
I might just come over and stay the night. I'm liking to do it.
You liking the whole
we
look?
do have a secret
We
little
need to
room.
take this down and get a picture of me. He ain't better than me.
Yeah, let's.
Oh, you just say he was the one.
I'm dumb right now. Like
I'm up
What you
for.
mean?
I'm up for a
What?
Pargo picture on the wall.
No.
actually.
This
I'm
is
up for
this
it.
is the one though. Like, do you see who that? Like,
Yeah.
come on now, don't
Yeah.
do that.
That's Jordan.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah.
MJ. Fade away. His J perfect.
yeah.
Yeah. Right.
All right, so it's been another good one. Appreciate all of you guys. Scoop, thank you. JD, of course, and the one and only Pargo.
I am just Pargo.
I am just Pargo.
Yeah, they saying it wrong. Don't listen. They say I am. No, it's no am. It's I'm. I'm just. I'm,
Oh, all right.
I'm just
No
Pargo.
A in there.
Yeah, no A.
Thank you.
I'm not cool enough to put an A.
Alex gonna put it up on the little screen, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Ain't nobody gonna follow me any damn way.
What? This guy right here is Gonzaga, dog.
Yeah, he better be.
I'm 1-0 against Gonzaga, by the way.
Yeah.
Just to throw that
Alex
I
is
wasn't there.
no, you wasn't.
I would have cooked y'all.
We beat y'all. Bolden was
You
there.
lucky. Yeah.
Sakura
I
was there.
remember.
You
Y'all beat
that?
us again the next year
You
too.
remember that?
Where Malachi beat us
in
in
Buffalo?
Chicago. It was in
Yeah.
Chicago. No,
It
it was in
was
Chicago
in
in the
Chicago.
tournament. I was at the game. I was hot.
Yeah.
I was hot. But that Big East conference, they don't want no parts of me.
Who?
Ask UConn. Huh?
Who was on UConn at the time? So I can ask.
PJ.
Who PJ?
I mean AJ. My bad.
Oh, AJ,
My
okay.
bad. My bad.
Okay.
My bad. AJ. My bad. AJ. I'm sorry. I like AJ.
Yeah,
That's
you
my
like, no,
man.
he's tough. Yeah.
He was there.
Yeah.
AJ was there.
Marcus Williams was there.
Who?
Marcus Williams.
No. He was. I played against UConn in Maui for the championship. Rudy was there. Boom.
I remember
Marcus
that game.
Was, Marcus was.
Boom went off on y'all.
Marcus was suspended for the computer thing. I think
Yeah.
at the time.
Devin Denham Brown went off on
he
y'all.
hit the game winner.
The game winner. Corner 3.
Like a floater.
Bang.
Game winner.
Yeah.
He got us, but we saw UConn again in Boston.
In the tournament.
Not in the tournament, just in the little thing around this time of the year. Saw them again in Boston.
What happened
They
there?
came-
We got to start
oh,
a
they
spinoff.
came- Listen,
I mean, this
Listen,
is getting good.
they came out talking. Oh my God!
Yeah.
First thing what I'm saying. I don't even know who it was. It might have been AJ. Hey, he say I ain't never heard no nigga going to Gonzaga. I say what?
That's some really shit I heard right there.
Listen.
I would have said that to you.
Listen, and guess what I said to him?
What you said?
Nigga, you live in Connecticut. What are you talking about? What? We gonna get to it. Going into that game, I was 1 for 16 from 3. 1 for 16.
Hey, what you hit that day?
I hit 5 of them.
5 for what?
And I look Ray Allen in his eyes and I'm cooking too.
Oh, Ray was there.
Ray was courtside.
I love it. I love it.
Hey,
I think
I
got
love
a-
the Big East.
I got a name for your
You
podcast.
do?
One version.
One version.
NCAA War Stories.
I
Oh,
love
that's
it.
that is a good one.
That's a good one?
That's a good one. especially
That
that
should be
Big
one
East.
of your.
You got the Big East though. Ain't nothing like that.
The best conference in the world.
Hands not hands down because ACC was tough,
It's tough,
too.
but not at that.
But
tenure
that Big
we
East
talking
was
about.
crazy.
2000,
Oh my God.
2006 to 2015.
Oh my!
That's a fact.
You need to get Levance in this one because he had some war stories.
I remember
Oh
one. Let me
my
give you one of his.
God.
The one they beat us when Paul Harris. I think like I forget what Paul did, but Pittsburgh was winning. I remember Levance Fields. You talking about right? Was going to the free throw line. I never knew he played against Johnny Flynn and Paul Harris. He was like, yeah, y'all fucking took my state champion. He was he was crying that he just beat Paul and Johnny. I'm like, this shit real. And I'm a freshman in the Big East. I'm looking at, Levance Fields, somebody I watched before I got there, but to see his passion, I'm like, this motherfucker serious.
And that's why I said him.
Yeah, like him, like this motherfucker is really serious. Like he's talking to them like y'all beat me in high school and I got your ass back. Like he was really serious. I'm like, okay, I got to get going. It's real in here.
Yeah, that Big East. I wanted to play in the Big East so bad at that time because I'm in the WCC where they taking charges in the paint. I got
I'm not gonna go there.
like no joke. They taking charges in the paint in the WCC.
Everybody.
Right.
You 6'10", man. Jump up here and block it if you can.
Right.
By the way, you got one of the best dunks I've ever seen
Which one?
overseas.
The overseas
the,
joint.
the one viral. People don't even know who you are. They just
No, people don't know.
They-
like
no,
the summer
somebody
league play.
in the
The
gym.
summer league play. The cross, the spin pass. People don't know this is me.
Alex, you gotta loop this in.
Yeah,
during the
yeah.
episode.
Loop this video
No
in.
joke.
No, I'm yesterday in the gym. We was where we was at.
Yeah.
It's like that's the guy that did that move and dunk. I'm like, yeah. That was Instagram sensation, I guess.
My agent had me come talk to some kids before, at a camp. So I'll go in there and talk to the kids. So you can see that the kids
They don't know
are
who
being
you are.
kids. They don't know who I am. But it was around the time that they were looping the play on almost like Sports Center because Summer League was around that time. So he come up like, just for y'all that don't know, he the one that had the cross and the spin pass. The kids went crazy.
The social media though.
Yeah, I mean that's real, man.
Yeah.
That
Kids went crazy.
one
And I'm like,
one
yo, like-
video,
Yep.
one video can change your whole thing, your whole thing.
Yeah.
That's great. That's great stuff. But
Yeah.
thank you, man. We gonna get up out of here.
Straight up.
You gotta get up out of here.
All right, so
Gotta
until
go.
next
Catch
time.
this
Until
traffic,
next
man.
time.
Listen,
Until
y'all gonna
next
see me
time.
in movies at some point. Just let y'all know.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, I can see that.